Now, in this side story, we see Cracker is being frozen while Boolin is actually crying, upset about Pudding being kidnapped. We don't know where she is or who's gotten her, but we knew how the Fun Smoke wanted Sanji to marry her. But this isn't like them to kidnap people. Of course, they actually have their emotions erased, which by Josh's experiments, but we knew that someone had kidnapped her. But we're going to find out who it is. But we're going back to the story right now, which Luffy, Chopper, and Bonnie have already eaten their food, which Atlas have actually realized that they are pirates, which she actually headed back to her lab with the help of the robotic dog called the Recycle Cur, who actually picking up the trash, which we knew how as scientists they can actually do whatever they want, which they're all lab assistants on their own rights. However, when we see Luffy put on futuristic clothes, the type of clothes that they wore in the future, we see how they have went to a chamber where they can pick their own clothes, in which we see Bonnie and Chopper put on the same clothes that Luffy is wearing, except for Jinbei, who actually put on Hawaiian clothes, which gonna act as their disguise while they're in the island of the future, which would have called Future Island for a nickname. But we see how they saw someone who's look exactly like Kuma, but this one has police on the front of his uniform, in which we see how he charging at Luffy, which he is a pacifista, which he is about to launch his beam from his mouth, knowing how they are getting ready to fight him. We see the look on Bonnie's face as she stopped Luffy from attacking him, knowing how they realize that Kuma is Bonnie's father, which he, which they're all in shock, which she actually begging them while breaking down in tears not to hurt her father, which we still see the backflash from the background of her as a child with her father, knowing how Luffy tells her that is a pacifista. Meanwhile, in the sea in the New World, we see the Blackbeard pirates attacking Law while they're actually trying to submerge up to the island, in which we see someone turn Law into a young woman, in which the same thing happened to his crew, in which he using a hotkey to turn himself back to an old self again, in which we see how they have actually gotten devil fruit powers, in which we see Doc Q have gotten the six fruit powers, which he can use any disease as a weapon. Then Von Auger using the warp word fruit powers, which he got the ability to teleport to any location. Then Bulgers, who actually has the buff fruit powers, which means super strength, which he can lift up a mountain with his hands, knowing how strong he really is, which he actually have gotten those powers. In fact, all three members of the Blackbeard Pirates have gotten powers because of the fact that they've stolen from people who using them, in which we see how they got their bounties up and the way they have become, in which we see how Blackbeard appeared with Doc Q and Stronger, who ate the mythical horse fruit powers model Pegasus, in which we see how he knew that Big Mom and Kaido are both gone, so now he will take the rolled poneglyph copies for himself, which Law would have to battle Blackbeard in order to stop him of getting towards Laugh-Tale, which we're going to see the battle of Blackbeard versus Law as well, knowing how he recognized one of the worst generations. So let me go ahead and rewind the entire chapter so we can actually catch up of what's actually happened. First, on the side story, Cracker is frozen and Pudding is kidnapped, knowing that it is not the Von Smoke style, but someone else must have actually kidnapped her or she disappeared out of thin air. Second, we see Luffy battling a officer who looked exactly like Kuma, but Bonnie have actually stopped him, who's actually breaking down saying that that's her father, which we knew this could mean badly for them when they try to stop themselves from attacking him. And then, thirdly, we see all three members of the Blackbeard Pirates now has Devil Fruit, which Doc Q has the six fruit powers, Augur, who actually has the Warp fruit powers, which teleportation, and finally Vargas, who actually has the Buff fruit powers, meaning super strength, and which we knew how Stronger, Doc Q's horse, actually had the horse fruit powers modeled Pegasus, a mythical type devil fruit soul power, which we see Blackbeard and Law going to battle who's going to take the rolled poneglyph copy. So now we're going to see who's going to win on the next chapter next weekend. So anyway, like this video, subscribe for more, and comment what you think about the manga chapter. You guys can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and my Facebook page and Twitch. But till then, this is Anime Guy right here saying signing out. Laters, and be safe.